What is up, guys? We are back with the third round coverage of the 41st annual Norman ProAm. This tournament is brought to you by Noble Hardware and Sooner Disc Golf. It is powered by Innova Champion Discs. My name is Gabriel Down. I'm here with Bobby Cox.
How's it going, everyone?
So far, this is the Coda and Emerson show.
It really is.
Coda Hatfield still leading the pack. Had a pretty strong second round. Him and Emerson actually tied with the 49. He is sitting at 14 under par. We got Emerson Keith one back at 13. And then we got Marshall and Steven back on the card.
Yeah, same exact card.
And they are tied at 7 under par, I believe.
Yep.
Getting straight into it, we are back over at Northeast Lions Park. This first hole is a par 3. It's 325 feet. As you can see, there's an initial gap that you have to hit. You really want to ride the right side of the fairway. You can't have something turn over too much because you'll end up behind those trees on the right. So you just want to ride it on the inside, right along those trees, and give yourself a look.
Yep. Here we got Coda chasing down that 11th Norman Pro-Am win.
Yeah, and actually, he's also going for his 125th career win.
That is so many wins.
125.
Yeah, I think Paul has like 111 or something. So
Yeah.
that's put that into perspective.
Yeah. Here we got Emerson. And that was way sawed off. He's going to be well short of the basket. Most likely just be laying up for 3.
Steve Menees. Just going with that basic hyzer. Not quite getting the fade, though.
No, he's going to be on the right side of those trees, and he will be laying up for a 3 from there. Marshall making it back on the card, putting out a beautiful shot.
Oh, yeah.
And he is parked. He's got to drop in 2 to start the round.
Yeah, Marshall is just full of positive vibes last round, I noticed. So, really fun guy to play with.
Yeah. And yeah, Steve is just being on the right side of those trees. You have no putt whatsoever.
Yeah, we saw Alex over there first round, and yeah, he had nothing as well.
Yeah. This is going to be Coda to start off, getting a stroke on Emerson. Extend that lead. He's now got 2 strokes on him. He is moving to 15 under par.
Yeah, this course just really requires you to hit your gap off the tee. That's like the most important thing that I've noticed, at least.
Yeah. Especially the woods holes.
Yes.
Emerson tapping in the par. Marshall with a really nice birdie. Put it right there. Hole 2, this is a par 3. It is 327 feet. Most of these guys are really just going to be playing over the top, like you saw in the first round, over the trees on the right. You do have to be careful of throwing it too wide right because you will end up in jail if that wind gets a hold of it and just drops it. But yeah, as long as you get the right angle on it and throw it out nice and high, it's going to be somewhere close to the basket.
Yeah. Yeah, the real gap is just up the middle, low ceiling, but if you have the arm, why do that, you know?
Yeah.
Makes it way harder.
And Coda looks like he's in the exact same spot as first round.
He put a pretty good run on it first round, too.
Yeah, he did. This is Marshall. He's got some backhand power.
Yeah, I mean, this whole card can bomb, really.
Yeah. And he's going to be about pin high, probably 45, 50 feet to the left. Might have a little bit of a low ceiling as well. Emerson pumping one out there. That looks like it's getting a little too far left.
Oh, got a little tree love, though.
Yeah. That ended up perfect.
About 10 feet deep. And yeah, I mean, if you're in those trees straight ahead, you're looking at a 4 if you're far enough in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not an easy pitch out to the basket.
Steve's just found that.
Yeah,
he's going to be on those trees on the right side. And yeah, as you can see, he has absolutely nothing. Oh, but he finds something.
Yeah.
That's a nice out.
Dude, that is literally the exact same spot Coda was in.
Same line.
Oh.
Puts an even better run than first round. Hits the band just a tad bit too high.
Here's Marshall for 2.
Just a little bit too low. Coda's got like the majority of the highlight putts for this tournament. He's been hitting some big ones.
For real.
Love it.
Wow. And speaking of highlights, that is not a highlight. That is kind of a shank job from Emerson.
Yeah, he just released that one too early. Left side. And if you're... These baskets, the Prodigy baskets, you have to hit them dead center. Because if you're left or right, the chains are so thick and there's so many chains
off.
there, it just bounces straight off. So you really want to just go for that dead center pole putt.
Yeah, if you have like a spin putt, easy there, Coda. If you have a spin putt, they're definitely falling in more than the push putts.
Man, he gave that basket some extra love.
He gives it love every time, it seems.
But that was extra.
Yeah, he gave it like a little rub and
yeah, he was going for it. Hole 3. This is a par 4. It is 360 feet, which I know is pretty short for a par 4. But as you can see, there are a lot of trees in the way. Most of these guys are just going to be throwing a safe shot and trying to get it as far as they can. Ideally, you want to be right here where this mulch is to give yourself a long look for eagle. Or just a easy pitch up to drop in your birdie.
Yeah, it's really that elevation change with the low ceiling that causes it to be a par 4. It's almost impossible getting all the way up there unless you throw a roller that somehow gets it past that wood up there by the mulch.
Coda's going with that roller.
Yeah, he's going to try it out. First round, he ended up on that right side, and he's in a very similar spot.
Yeah.
He got it up a little bit farther first round, but...
Yeah, and he was a little bit more clear on that right side as well. Marshall, that was looking good initially, but just barely nicked that tree and is getting a fortunate roll.
That's a really good kick, yeah.
And he's going to be in the center of the fairway, and that's actually not a terrible spot.
Yeah, I know whenever we played it, I was on that left side, and I think I took like a 6 or 7 on this hole.
Yeah.
There's just hardly anything on that left side, so if you can just keep it somewhat in the middle.
And on the right side.
Or on the right, you're in a pretty good spot.
Yep. And I forgot to mention, once again, the triple Mando is here in play as well. Right off the tee, you can see the wooden pole on that right side, and there's a pole on the left and the right, and then there's a metal beam across it, so you can't take that over the top shot.
And here's Steven on the left side. You can see it is brutal, but he has a little gap right there. Wow.
And that one, I actually...
Did it hit you?
No.
Okay.
I almost fell back because it was so muddy on the green.
Your feet just slid out in front of you?
There's probably a half a foot indention in the mud.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a really good recovery shot by Steven, and good shot by Marshall as well.
It's Coda from jail. He was in a tougher spot than I thought, and that is not the greatest upshot from Coda.
Yeah, and Coda's really good at his scramble game, so he's pretty upset about that.
Yeah, definitely. Emerson actually skipped off a root and almost went into the basket. That would have been a sight to see. This is Coda to salvage the birdie.
Yeah.
And can't convert there. He'll be tapping in for par. Marshall makes good for the birdie, though.
You can wait, Coda. Okay.
As always, big shout out to DMAR for being the coverage sponsors. They have an awesome store over in OKC. Make sure to check them out.
Yeah, and that dog that you saw in there might be the friendliest dog of all time. Whenever we were in there, it was jumping in my lap and everything.
I did not get the pleasure of meeting.
Oh, you weren't there? That's right.
Yeah. Hole 4, this is a par 3. It is 444 feet. Most of these guys really are going to be going with a big flex shot over the top of the trees. Ideally, you want to hit the canopy of the trees right above the basket and have it crash somewhere near there. We did see Coda first round opt for the roller, which got way down there,
Yeah.
which is a pretty nice play if you can miss everything once you get down the hill.
And I mean, that's pretty standard where Marshall ended up, just
Yeah.
kind of getting on that right side. There are some gaps over there.
Yeah, he's going to be where Billy was first round. Emerson.
He's got all the power to get there.
Absolutely. He's flexing that one out nicely. And
Oh yeah. As long as you're giving yourself like a chance for a birdie, you're pretty happy on this one. There's just too much stuff in the way for
Yeah.
guaranteed two.
This is a bonus birdie.
Yeah.
Steve has just turned this one
no.
over too much. And he almost catches one of the players on the next tee pad.
It almost landed in the trash can over there too.
Yeah, I heard them talking about that. But he's going to be in a really tough spot there. It's going to be Coda. I'm sure he's opting for that roller again.
Yeah, as long as there's flat ground, there's a good chance Coda's throwing a roller.
Yeah. Just needs to get
Wow,
there.
it like jumped over that brush.
Oh, and it skipped over the tree, and he's just on the other side of that mound of mulch.
It's about 35, 40 probably.
Yeah.
I'm so off today.
Maybe a little bit further, actually,
Yeah.
thinking back on it. Marshall with a nice up. He'll be tapping in for par.
Here's Steve to save par.
Just a little bit too low. He's going to be tapping in for the bogey. This is Coda for 2. Just a little bit too low. Emerson to get a stroke on Coda. And that was too much hyzer right out of his hand.
And it should be
just got that
noted
left side.
that we do have a final 9 after this, so these guys are competing for a spot to finish it out on that final 9.
Yeah.
I always love final 9s. You get like a pretty good sized gallery going, and the whole atmosphere is just totally different.
Yeah, it is. And Steve, unfortunate bogey there. That's going to move him to 7 under par. Marshall taps in the par, and we'll stay at 9 under. Hole 5, this is a par 4. It is 429 feet. It carries uphill for the first, I'd say, 260 feet of the fairway. You ideally want to make the crest of this hill to give yourself an open look of the basket. You don't want to be too far left or right because you can be kind of pinched off with some trees in your way. So the more in the middle you can be is ideal. But the first task is just to get over the hill so you can have a look at the basket.
Yeah, and there are some trees like right in front of the fairway, or right in front of the tee box, as you can see. And honestly, like the roller line kind of plays with the trees, so it kind of lines up perfect for the roller or the forehand. But just like a normal backhand hyzer flip isn't really there.
No. Yeah, the forehand around this right side gap is definitely the common play.
Yeah.
And Emerson just catches one of those little trees on the left side, and he's going to be well short. He's going to have a pretty difficult upshot from there as well.
Yeah, we saw Coda throw this roller first round, and it would have been parked if it didn't hit one of those trees up by the basket.
This one looks like it's working out nicely.
Yeah, I mean that's just gonna be a sky hyzer basically.
Yeah.
Really easy upshot from there.
You might have a little window there through the gap.
Well, he's just too far left, I think. I don't think he can wrap it around enough.
Yeah.
Emerson going with that Bruins Justice.
Sure, he's going to just spike it in there.
It
over
might
the
go
top.
in with that disc.
Right. It's definitely going to be... Oh. Wow.
Yeah, I didn't quite get the height on it.
First shot I've seen Emerson throw with that Justice, and it's not within 5 feet of the basket.
I know.
Marshall with a nice line. He actually ended up behind that tree there. Should be close enough to make the birdie. Steve just throwing that one a little bit too low. He's going to have some work left to make his birdie. And we got Coda opting for that spike hyzer. And he is right next to the
Perfect.
basket.
Yeah, and he was like up against that tree too, so he had a
Mhm.
kind of a little awkward stance, but
Yeah.
it had to happen. Yeah, that tree on the right side of the basket kind of forced him to throw the ante.
Yeah. And he likes that straighter to slight hyzer line, so I'm sure that was pretty awkward for him. Just a little bit left side. And Steve just a little bit too low. He'll be tapping in for par. Coda getting a stroke on Emerson. He now takes back that 2-stroke lead. And Marshall with a nice birdie as well. That'll move him to 10 under par.
Yeah, 3 down for the round. Doing pretty good so far.
Yeah, he's killing it. Only 4 back from Emerson. Steve tapping in with a par as well. He will stay at 7 under par. Hole 6, this is a par 3. It is 288 feet. This is really just a, you can throw a soft turnover if you're comfortable with it, but the preferred play is going to be a forehand. You just want to ride the left side of the fairway, have it hyzer towards the end of the trees there, and you'll most likely have a look.
Yeah, I'd say this is the easiest hole in the course.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's yanked. Yep, and that bit him in the butt.
Yeah, he's going to be well short on that left side. He might even have some branches to contend with, depending on where he's at.
And Coda's been throwing this tomahawk line, or thumber line, which is kind of unconventional, kind of unnecessary, but whenever you can put it, 10 feet from the basket, why not take it?
Yeah, he's so good with that, man.
Come on, baby. That's so beautiful.
Yeah, whenever we filmed J.C. Kester in New Mexico, I was really hoping he'd be healthy enough to throw those massive tomahawks, but he had an elbow injury, and he was forced to throw the backhands.
Yeah, that was unfortunate, and that was an unfortunate drive as well.
Yeah.
He's going to be well short.
It's a dangerous run. It kind of drops off behind the basket a little bit.
But he'll be tapping in for par there. Steve, he is forced to straddle out here, and it looked initially like a good run, but just barely nicked that branch and took enough off of it to hyzer it out too soon. But Emerson with a nice birdie. That'll move him to 15 under par. And we got Coda maintaining that 2-stroke lead. He will move to 17 under.
Yeah, Coda's just not making any big mistakes. Like, the worst he's taken is a bogey, and that's a rare.
Yeah.
Rare on the round.
Yeah. Steve taps in the par. He's just hungry for a birdie at this point.
Right.
He's been at 7 under since hole 1.
Seems like the beginning of the second round, too.
Yeah.
He's been
just chilling there.
Steady at 7, yeah.
Yep. Hole 7, this is a par 3. It is 315 feet. This is super tricky. The line off the tee is a little awkward. To get all the way up to the basket, you have to throw a slight flex shot with something overstable that'll skip right when this grass starts here to the left. But most of these guys are going to be playing a forehand safe route and just get past all the water and the trees and lay up for your 3.
Yeah, just kind of bailing out on that right side.
And I really wonder if anyone even 2'd this hole during the tournament, because this is such a hard hole.
It really is.
The line is so precise and requires so much accuracy.
And it's so easy to just take a nasty kick, too.
Yeah.
I mean, if you kick on that left side, like near that water, I mean, you're faced with like a wall of trees.
Yeah, we saw Alex first round. He was on that left side, and
somehow he salvaged the bogey, but I mean,
which is great.
That's a great score, yeah, from where he was at.
Yeah.
And Steve's taking the exact same line as Emerson, and he's right there.
Yeah, I remember Emerson was like, "I'm just trying to hit Gabe, so Gabe, watch out."
Yeah. Yep.
Marshall. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's unfortunate. He's going to be laying up and taking a bogey most likely. This is Coda. Just laying up for 3, I'm sure.
Oh, no.
Oh. And he sawed that one off, and that's going to be well short. He's going to have a long uphill putt.
Yeah, I don't even see how you can run that. That's a sketchy run.
Steve just laying up. He'll be tapping in for par. Yeah, this is definitely another one of the bonus birdies on the course.
Yeah. And if you guys have ever played Hunter Park in Tulsa, it seems like every basket is a danger zone. It's either on a hill or near water, and this course is pretty similar.
Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy greens here.
Yeah.
Steve makes good for the par. That is not bad for this hole. A lot of danger to avoid. Coda tapping in a really unfortunate bogey because he was really not in that bad of a spot on his second shot and just barely sawed it off. But Emerson getting a stroke on him, and he's now only one back. This is hole 8. It is a par 3, 390 feet. As you can see, there is a skinny, tight tunnel initially off the tee. This carries for about 240 feet, I'd say. You're really just trying to clear this gap, get up to this grassy area, and have a long look for your 2, or just pitch up for 3. This is another one of the bonus birdies on the course.
Yeah, I mean, it's just so hard to swing it that far left, you know? I mean, hitting the gap is one thing, but getting a skip is really difficult in this hole.
Yeah. And Emerson just basically using me as an aim point.
I like that.
And gets it right up there. He'll be pitching up for 3 most likely. There is a drop off behind the basket, so that is not a very runnable putt.
Yeah, and Steve just had too much hyzer on it.
But still not a terrible spot. He might have a little bit of room there to at least pitch it up for 3. Coda, this is looking sawed off, and he finds the rough on that left side.
Yeah, it's no bueno down there.
Yeah, hopefully he's not in too tough of a spot. There is a little gap right underneath the tree on the left side down that hill that he can hit, but we'll see where he's at.
Yeah, Marshall's over there hanging with Coda as well.
Steve's not in a bad spot.
No.
He's pitching up for 3, and that'll play.
Yeah, Coda did find a gap, but couldn't quite convert.
Still not a bad score for where he was at.
Yeah, well, I mean, we saw Alex Savage down here, and it took him 2 or 3 shots just to get out into the open.
Yeah. This is Emerson. I'm sure he's giving this one a run. Just a little bit too low. That's a scary run, though. Just a little bit pro side from Marshall.
Steve still sitting at that 7 down.
Still holding it.
Trying to go under par at some point.
Yeah. Even Steven.
I like that.
Right.
Very good.
Even
off
Steven,
the top.
baby.
Yeah, that was really impressive.
Hole 9, this is a par 3. It's 215 feet. This is one of the easier holes on the course. I'd put it in the top 3 easiest holes.
Yes.
There's this gap on the right that the drone's flying through. Really, you just want to throw a mid-range or a putter straight through this gap, and as long as you hit the bottom of this hill here, or not the bottom of it, but right before the crest of the hill, it'll give it a nice little stop up to the basket, and you'll be left with a 10-footer.
Yeah, just kind of jam it into that hillside, and you should have at least a 30-footer.
Yeah.
And that's like an ace run right there. Okay, no.
Kind of was.
It kind of was, just
Yeah.
a little bit short.
But that'll work.
Come on, Steve. Give me that birdie.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's birdie zone. That's
That
birdie
is birdie
zone.
zone for sure. Even Steven doesn't work anymore.
No.
He's going to be tapping that in.
Yeah, he ruined all the fun. Oh, no, that's an ace run.
That is an ace
That was nice.
And Marshall just hanging that one out, riding that right side, just left it too far right, and he'll be pitching up for his 3 most likely.
Yeah, I mean, this hole's so short. You can have a really bad drive and still be looking at a birdie. So
Yeah, I mean, as long as you jam it into that hill, you're gonna be within 45 feet. Oh, and that was a great forehand run
How
from
sick would that have
Marshall.
been?
I love seeing forehand putts go in.
Yeah. Well, you hardly ever see them, and then
Yeah.
whenever they go in, it's just like a bonus.
Yeah. Coda making good for the birdie. I'll move him to 17 under par. Maintaining that 1-stroke lead over Emerson.
Yep.
And with that is going to conclude the front 9 of the final round here at 41st Annual Norman Pro-Am. Coda is once again holding that lead. He is sitting at 17 under par. Emerson Keith still one back, so we got a battle here in this back 9. Marshall Blanks and Steve Menees tied still after this front 9, but they are one stroke better, sitting at 8 under par. So hopefully this battle can continue, and we can see these guys
go at it.
Hit some good lines.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. You can check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, and we'll see you guys for the back 9.